सर अभी आया हूँ पोडियम में, उसे मास्टर बनाइए, मास्टर से अभी चढ़ रहा हूँ, मास्टर से बनाइए नहीं।
Hello. Good morning. It's really nice to see this big crowd here.
Ready.
And I know a lot of you are standing and it might be a bit uncomfortable, but please bear with us. Request you all to keep your phones on silent, and if you do get an important call that you have to take, please respect the people around you and get up, go, take the call and return to the seat. Yeah? Okay. Cool. Ladies and gentlemen, namaskar, adab. Welcome to the 16th edition of the Jaipur Literature Festival, protected by Dettol Banega Swasth India at Bank of Baroda, Charbagh. We are delighted to introduce My Books and Beliefs. This session is presented by our media partner, Dainik Bhaskar. Yeah, it would be nice if we don't block seats anymore, because the session's begun. Thank you. Philanthropist and writer Sudha Murthy is an inspirational figure who has brought culturally oriented children's literature to the center stage of discussion. Her simple yet profound stories are based on folklore and life wisdom that shows nature and human beings belonging to a common ecosystem. Understanding the old and adapting to the new, in conversation with Mandira Nayar, Murthy presents a pragmatic worldview that is nevertheless based on compassion and empathy. I'd like to invite Sudha Murthy and Mandira Nayar on stage. Can we have a big round of applause for them, please? Sudha Murthy, founder of Infosys Foundation, was one of the first women engineers to start her career at TELCO, which is now Tata Motors. A prolific writer in English and Kannada, her books have been translated into all major Indian languages and have sold over 30 lakh copies around the country. Mandira Nayar is a journalist with 2 decades of reporting experience. She writes on books, foreign affairs and culture and is currently the Deputy Bureau Chief at The Week. A Charles Wallace scholar, Nayar has previously worked with The Hindu and The Telegraph. Over to you, Mandira ma'am.
Hi, good morning. Can everybody hear? It's a full house, and I believe people have been queuing up since 8:30, so this really is very much 8 o'clock. So I won't keep you waiting. I know everybody's here to hear Sudhaji, and she's an inspiration. I wanted to start. Good morning. And
Good morning.
I wanted to ask you. People have been queuing up since 8 o'clock in the morning. I got a glimpse of just what kind of star power you hold very much here. Everybody sort of came up. There was somebody who came up while we were sitting who had tears in eyes and said, I've been reading you since I was 8. And I cannot believe that here I am and you're signing my book. So there certainly is this great charisma that you have through your books. And I wanted to ask you, you kept telling everybody, I'm not special. I'm just like you. But clearly there is something, and can you talk about that one thing that has made you this? You started writing at 50. So you've changed everybody's life in some ways or touched them? But how has writing touched you and changed you?
Good morning to everyone, especially children. I tell children, you buy my books, and that is the reason I can, I can eat my food. In a sense, I get royalty. You are my annadata. So you are giving because you buy. So I should say annadata sukhi bhava. Thank you, children. Buy my books. Now on a lighter note, all these things I talk, but now coming to the serious one, I started writing at the age of 10 or 12 good essays. My first book came when I was 29 in Kannada. Kannada is my mother tongue and I'm very fond of my mother tongue. Janani Janma Bhumischa Swarga Adapi Gariyasi. Your land, your mother tongue is very, very important. It is not just a tongue, it is a culture. A mother tongue connects you to the culture of the land. And I started writing only in English, only at 52 in English. My first book came when I was 52. So I realized actually, you are a driver. Vehicle is different. You can drive on a two-wheeler or four-wheeler. You can write in Kannada, then you can write in English also. That way I realized at 52. I connect to the people because I tell truth. I don't act. What you see, you get only that much, nothing extra. Okay? So what I talk, I walk. And I don't lie most of the times, except a white lie. Oh, I had food or something that kind. But normally I don't lie. Because if you lie once, you should remember what I lied last time. And I don't have that kind of a great memory. I have a short memory. And living simple is very easy actually. It is not difficult. Let anybody do anything, but I like the way I want to be happy. Writing has changed me a lot to understand someone's psyche. For example, when I write to children, I enjoy it so much because I will be child in my mind. And that's the reason I could connect to people because I'm like their neighbor, maybe their aunt, their like Masi, maybe their Dadi, maybe their Nani. Because normally, if you are truthful when you write, and that you can establish a relationship. That's what I believe.
And you certainly have established this relationship. You talk about this, you are everybody's Aji.
I'm national Nani, I think.
You're national Nani, that's true.
India's national Nani.
And that's a good thing to be.
Yeah. Other day I was in the airport, somebody called me. In Kannada, Nani means Aji.
Yeah.
Okay? Gopi is Aji, Gopi is Aji. I said, who is calling me? Some kid came and said, oh, you are Gopi is Aji. I said, yes. That I never knew that. I was a Gopi is Aji. Gopi is my dog.
Yes.
By the way.
But Gopi is more than a dog. He's more than your dog. He's very much the mascot. He does this thing. You've got Diary of Gopi, and he's in 3 volumes, and he is quite wonderful. And Gopi gets into a lot of, he's very mischievous. And I wanted to ask you, in some ways, if you look at all the other books, you've got this they're books about values, and Gopi is a book about fun. And do you think you, as Gopi, as your alter ego, do you think Gopi can do things that Sudha Murthy can't?
I think many things Gopi can do. The first thing is Gopi, what he wants, he will not go from that place until he gets, whereas I can't do. He said, I want a bone. I am a vegetarian anyway. Gopi wants his bone and he will not leave the place. There are many things Gopi can do which I can't do. But the most important thing is the way Gopi loves me. Unconditionally. Other day, it was so heart-touching. I was on the road, this side of the road, Gopi was on the other side of the road, and he saw me. I was coming from my office. He just crossed the road. I was so scared, the vehicle was coming. Gopi did not care the vehicle can hit him. He came and hugged me, my legs actually. That means he gives unconditional love and loyalty, which I really feel as a human being, will I be able to give that kind of love? And forgetting my own life and go and hang someone. That's only a dog can do, that one. That way I feel his life is much better than mine. Total unconditional loyalty and love. Yeah. I'm sure whosoever has a dog, they are happiest people here, luckiest people. Whosoever has a daughter here, they are very lucky people. Daughter is a great strength in life. Okay? I wrote a book, A Daughter from a Wishing Tree. Even Goddess Parvati feels she should have a daughter because a daughter completes a person's life. As a daughter, mother, wife, sister, bhabhi, whatever role you say. So I feel being a daughter I'm very happy, but being Gopi the Aji I'm more happier than that.
Yeah. So you talked about your daughter, and I think I wanted to talk to you really about that. And in the book that you wrote about How I Taught My Grandma to Read, you also write about learning from your daughter, about how she inspired you. And can you talk a little bit about that, about how children teach you to change your life, and how, as parents, you must learn to accept?
Yeah, actually most of the time, parents think, oh, We have, we are 50, 30 years older than you. Grandparents think we are 60 years older than you. We have seen so many rainy seasons. We know everything. That's really not true. Actually, you can learn from everybody one or another thing. I have noticed that in many ways. For example, I taught my grandmother to write alphabets, A, B, C, D and learn. At the age of 62, she learned and she could read a book later. My daughter taught me at the age of 45, I was 45, Akshata was 15. So, my daughter Akshata used to go on her own and teach in a blind school. She used to scribe actually to a boy by the name Anand Sharma. It's a real life story. And he was a bright, poor kid. So she came and told me one day, Amma, Anand got admission in St. Stephen's and he can't afford, economically he's weak. Why can't you sponsor? I was very busy as head of the Department of Computer Science. So I was setting the question paper, I did not have time. I just told her, oh, you can sponsor him. She said, Amma, wait a minute. What do you say you can sponsor? The press used to write, you are from the press, you know. The moment, you know how many shares multiplied by the share rate, how much you are worth of it. Whether it's a true or false is a different story. Every time the press writes about my wealth, and I never used to give any money to my children as a pocket money. I never gave. I said, what is your pocket money? No pocket only for you people. Okay, forget about pocket money. Tell me what do you want, I will come with you and I will buy if that's for you. Why do you require pocket money? And if I give 10 rupees, I will ask the accounts, how did you spend 10 rupees? Show me you went by bus, show me that details. So the children will send that, don't give money, you come with me and we will buy. She said, don't even give me pocket money and you say I should sponsor a child. Then she told me, Amma, you are 45 years old. See, I always kept a dialogue with my children. All parents, I want to tell you, if you want to have a good relationship with your children, keep a dialogue with them. They should not be scared of you. They should not say, how I can talk to my mom. My mom will get upset. No. I said, I will not agree with you, but keep a dialogue. So I told my daughter, you sponsor, and she was very upset. She said, Amma, you are 45 years old, at this, and you are well traveled, you are reasonably intelligent, and you are quite well off, and if you don't want to do any social service, then don't expect anyone to do that. And I did not bother about her. She was upset and I went to the university meeting. As usual, meetings were late. I sat down and I said, what did she tell? What did my 15 years daughter told me? What's your aim in life? She asked me. First 25 years I worked for Infosys. No, for myself, to get a first rank, because I wanted to show in engineering college that girls are as good as or maybe even better than boys. So I wrote an article, how to beat boys. I did my engineering 55 years back and joined engineering college 55 years back. Imagine, there's not a single lady. So I used to feel, no, a woman can do engineering. So first 25 years I spent on that. Next 20 years I spent on Infosys to do different jobs at Infosys without salary. And now Infosys doesn't need me because it's grown on its own. My education is over. What do I look forward in life? And I thought about it for 3 days, then I decided to start a foundation. So my daughter is my guru. I told her if she would not, I was sleeping. She woke me up. She said, Amma, what's your duty? And that duty has given me tremendous fulfillment in life, not by Infosys shares, not by any awards, not by any rewards, not by any Padma Shri. The reward or the joy I get from helping poor people has given me tremendous satisfaction. I can meet God and tell, I did not waste my life. You gave me a life, I served your children. And thank you, my daughter Akshata, to wake me up and ask this question. That's the reason I tell all mothers, your children are smarter than you. Please sometimes take cue from them that can change your life. That can change your life.
So you know, you talk about girls being smarter, and you know, you said that talked about breaking class ceilings, and you really have. You were not only the first woman to become an engineer in that college, but you also did it with great opposition from all your family. Can you talk a little bit about that? The fact that it wasn't as simple as just sort of going there, everybody said nobody would marry you. Your mother opposed it, your grandmother opposed it, your father opposed it, your grandfather opposed it. So, can you talk a little bit about that bit and a little bit of Sudha Murthy's rebellion?
1967, actually, I finished my pre-university and I got very good marks. And I was born in a good time, you know, there are not that many competition. So, sasta time tha. So I had to take my marks card and I could get admission. And it was, I come from a very small town, you know, in Karnataka, in the northern part, where people cannot. They thought there's something wrong with my brain. You know, how can you ever think a girl can become an engineer? It is a man's domain. Girls should never even enter. And when I said I like applied science, and the applied science is nothing but engineering, there was so much of shock wave, like a bomb fell down in Hubli in our house. My father was a doctor. He said, "Beta, you talk well, you connect with people, you'll be a good lady doctor." My grandfather was a school teacher. He was a history teacher. He told me, "Beta, you are very fond of history. You'll be a good do PhD in history. That is fine, but don't do this. This mein rust nahi hai engineering mein." My grandmother was worried that who will marry me in my community? If you do engineering, no boy will marry. She did not know across the river there existed Narayan Murthy. And my Buas were very upset. They said, she doesn't have any brain. If she does engineering, she will go out of the community and marry someone, and we are not coming for the wedding. Much before that they declared that. And my mother said, "Beta," she was a school teacher. She said, "You do MSc mathematics, you are good in mathematics. Then you can become a professor. That is acceptable, okay? And you will get 3 months holiday, you can look after the family, etc." But I said, "No, I am going to do engineering because any change in the society is always with applied science. And I want to pursue applied science. And knowledge is not somebody's domain. It is not a boy's domain or a girl's domain. It is a domain of people who pursue and, you know, and study it with a great honesty. It is theirs." The quote of the Rigveda says, "Let Ano Bhadrani," it says, "Let all noble thoughts come from all the direction." It doesn't say it belongs to only one gender. I said, "I am going to do that." My college was very upset. The girl will come here, we don't have a restrooms or a toilet for girls because no girl will come who are not built. So they thought, I will come and I will leave after one semester. Why waste money? They did not build toilets for next 4 years. Because every semester they will think I will leave and do. And I never left. There were no toilets. And my professors were upset because why have a girl? It is in 1966-67. In those days there were a lot of Hindi movies. Dhool Ka Phool, that kind of, Sasural, Tere Ghar Ke Samne. So the popular songs were 100 साल पहले मुझे तुमसे प्यार था, आज भी है, कल भी रहेगा, that kind of song.
Did people sing it for you? Because
of course they used to sing, "A girl should not come, sajan re jhoot mat bolo, suda gaye." All things of the paper arrows were always constant at my back. So all boys thought this girl will not stay, and teachers thought that I will elope with the boy and run away in the middle of the semester, because how a girl can do engineering? What all?
And they also didn't want to share notes with you, right?
And no, they want you to talk to me. I'm like a chooth kanya in the class, okay? Or a new animal in the zoo. So they won't talk to me. And I said, okay, doesn't matter. Now let me become strong. Atma hi atmano bandhur, atma hi ripo atmana. Who is your best friend? You yourself. Who is your worst enemy? You yourself. I will be my best friend. I will not ask any boys any notes. I will work hard. And I worked hard. First time I got in the first semester, first rank. Then I realized, oh, what a myth it is. Girls are smarter than boys. But we make them to, we always behave as if they are smarter, but inside we are smart. The nature helps the girl become smart because women undergo physical difficulties, mental difficulties more than men. Particularly labor pains. Okay, no man can deliver a baby, only woman can deliver a baby. So we are more powerful than them. So I realized that it is a myth that boys can do well. Anybody can do well if they have interest. And later boys came and told me, "Will you help me?" I used to do a very good smithy, welding, everything I did very well. I used to help boys. I said, "Okay, Baba, time is up, I will help you out." I realized in 4 years, If you want to do anything in life, you are responsible for that. No reason is required. Say, oh, they never allowed. Question paper was tough. Nobody was helping me. Nothing. You can do if you want to do, and that has kept me always what I am today. That if I believe that I can do, as long as legally, ethically it is right, I will do it. As long as it's correct to the society. And that strength actually made me what I am. I am so much autonomous inside. I don't depend on anyone. I depend only on myself. Please be dependent on yourself. Don't compare yourself with somebody and say, oh, I'm better than them or I'm lesser than them. Compare with yourself. What you were yesterday, are you better today? What you were last year, are you better than that last year today? And that is your strength. Please follow that than saying that, oh, they are well off, we are not. No, it is, your happiness doesn't depend upon all that. Your happiness depends upon your strength, inside strength. That is Atma Vishwas. And that you have to build. Not the only academic excellence, Atma Vishwas. Atma Vishwas is competing with yourself every day and making you a better and better person.
So really wise words, and I think that's very important. And I wanted to talk about this. You know, your books really talk about this aspect: self-reliance, selflessness. You know, it's a word that you use very often. You talk about kindness, and you have this wonderful story about giving. Yes, and giving and red rice, right? About giving. And you know what generosity really means. So can you really tell me a little bit about that story that I'm referring to?
I will. See, basically I'm a storyteller. You know, I can go on telling you stories throughout the day, but we have only 23 minutes left. I'll tell you, when I was a young girl, I was a very short girl, and we used to store rice in our family house. There was a good rice, there was a red rice. Today red rice is a fashion. In olden days red rice was called second rice, you know. So whenever people will come to our house, a mullah used to come, a peer used to come, a lady used to come, when somebody was going to Tirupati used to come, there were 7-8 people will come every day. They won't ask anything. They will come, stand, and grandfather will tell me, get into the rice granary, give them one measure of rice, good rice. And now, when you give, just say, Govinda and give. Govinda means this will go to Lord Vishnu and will give. And night my grandmother used to cook with the red rice. So one day I asked my grandmother, good rice you give to people who come in the morning, 10 people, and say Govinda. And in the night you cook red rice. Why are you not cooking with a good rice? Okay. She said, she was not, she never went to school. She told me, when God comes to your house, what do you give? I said, I'll give the best because I have to get good marks, okay? Okay. She said, between the two, which is the good rice? This is a good rice. So the person who comes in front of our house, that is a good rice we should give because he is or she is a god. My grandfather was a Sanskrit scholar. He said, no, I want to teach you in a different way. Upanishad tells the importance of giving. When a person makes a lot of money, what happens to that money? People work really hard to get a lot of money. But what happens to that money? There are many ways. One is you enjoy. Enjoy means you stay in a 7-star hotel. Okay, you have your own jet. I don't know what are the different ways of spending money. But that's only two I can think of. But even there's a limitation for that kind of money because end of the day you'll eat only one handful of rice. You don't eat golden rice. And you sleep every day in 7-star hotel. You get bored after that, you want to come home and sleep on your bed. He said, lot of money does not mean lot of luxury. Lot of luxury means lot of happiness. It is nothing to do that. The more the money you have, it is the more the burden because this money is meant for the people who are poorer than you or lesser than you in the society. And that's the reason Upanishad says, when you have money, either you should enjoy and which has its own limitation, or you should give away in dana. If you don't do either of them, then your children will be destroyed by that money. And I have seen with my own eyes, when a lot of money is accumulated, how people behave. They behave as if they are drunk. I have money, I can drive any car, meet with any accident, do anything, whatever I want. All this is the ill effect of the money. So the Upanishad says when you have money, you should give away to the right causes. And then it goes on telling what are the right causes. One of them is Danam Priyavak Sahitam. That means when you give dana, say good words and give. Take money and get lost, you should not say. You should say, take this one and may you prosper. When you give money or do dana, you should not feel I am superior to you. I should say, oh God, you have given me an occasion to help others. And when you do dana, you should believe in it. Not that I scratch your back and you scratch mine, then it's never a dana. That is Danam Priyavak Sahitam, Shraddhai Danam, Ashraddhai Nadanam. If you don't believe, don't give. The more you give, the more happy you are. And that's what I learned in my life. The more I have given, the more happy I am. And this happiness is nothing to do with what I write, with what awards I get, how do I look, none of them. So it is very essential for my own sanity, my own happiness I give. And that's what I learned from my grandparents. I'm sure you must have learned a lot from your grandfather. I want to tell a very funny incident. Mandira may not know, or may not tell. Mandira's grandfather, Mandira Nayar, was a very well-known journalist. My generation people knew very well. And I used to read his columns when I was young. And he wrote a book, Between the Lines. Maybe in 1972 or 73 I must have read that book. Almost 50 years back I read that book. And there he writes, I'm dedicating this book to the shirtless ones of India, who's across the corner, who makes tea, and he knows more about the country than the people who sit in the parliament. I remember that sentence. I was fascinated by that. What a powerful statement he wrote. That means from a common man, you can learn so much. That lines were etched in my mind. When I wrote my first book, Wise and Otherwise in English, when I wrote my first English book, I said, whom I should dedicate? Then I said, how I have traveled and what I have learned. I learned from the poorest people of my country what my country is. Otherwise, my country means Bollywood, my country means GDP, my country means software export. No, what my country wants, what my country needs, what poor people of our country really struggle, all those things I learned only in my foundation work. Then I remembered Kuldeep Nayar's words. So I asked apologies now. I copied his words. I wrote, to the shirtless ones of India who taught what my country is. So I bow down to Kuldeep Nayar's soul wherever it is, surely in the Swarga, giving the powerful statement and making people like me so energetic to understand what our country is. That, and she is his granddaughter. So I have not met him, so I convey that to her on the stage today.
Thank you. By knowing my grandfather, he was very restless, and wherever he is, he's possibly looking down and really thinking that it's wonderful that you've remembered him. So I wanted to talk to you about this, about shirtless listening, this generation of selflessness, a word that is also very much etched or very at the center of all your stories. And you talked about not being drunk on money. You are, Infosys was started by your husband. You have all this. How do you yet you've kept your children very grounded. You talked about that. You talked about no selflessness. How do you think the word selflessness, the way that we understood it in the way of the simplicity of your grandfather or your grandmother can be passed down? Do you think it matters? The word still has the same echo? And how do you, to all these people who have children who also have this thing, how do you keep away from the lure of comfort, which is seductive? How do you keep your kids protected from that?
I was talking to my good friend Usha Nayak, who is sitting over here, in the morning. I was telling Usha, tell me why this generation has lost so much simple happiness. And we were discussing on that, and we realized that my generation, people were born just after independence. So we have seen our parents struggle in British Raj, and there was not a prosperity in the country. And all of us were quite patriotic in a way that we have to build our country. So our generation worked for that. And we inherited those simple qualities of my generation. Most people are like me, according to me. Subsequent generations, like people who are sitting over here, they only read in the book, India had a was under colonial rule. Of course, they will also attend Shashi Tharoor's lectures here. In 1947, we got, and also listen to William also. So they have not seen the real struggle the way we have seen. And that could be one of the reasons that they got it everything free. Like Bhagat Singh's death. We know what it is in my generation. This generation is born after independence. So they have not seen the struggle. To some extent, life has been easy for them. And globally, they are well connected. We are not well connected. So what happens in America, they get it next day only. That's one of the reasons that they are well connected, but they are also influenced by the other factors, distracted by other factors. But the best way I always feel to have simple things and grounded, you should remain grounded is your parents. All parents here, I want to tell them, what you expect from your children, how they should become, you should become like that first. You should become like that. Bringing up children is like tapasya. It is not like, you put a seedling and there's a there's a flowering tree will come, it will flower, then fruits will happen. It won't happen. They are human beings. They always absorb what you do, what you read, what you eat, what you write. Sudha Murthy is not a role model. Parents are role model. If you lie, they lie. If you envy somebody, they will envy someone. So you want what your children want to become, you should be like that. If somebody does very well than your child, I always used to tell my children, my son got 4th rank. The first rank person, I told, beta, go and congratulate him. He said, no, he's my competitor. I said, no, you are your competitor. Somebody has done better than you. Go and congratulate that kid. Because it is the way to live in life. Many people do better than us. You should not be enemy. You should congratulate those people and try. We also should become like them. There's nothing wrong in that. You compete and do, but don't hate a person who is successful. Go and congratulate. You should do that. And if you want your children should be simple, you should be simple. You should tell children, at least I used to tell children, be happy with the small things. And that is the way of living, because everyday great things don't happen. A good monsoon is a good happiness. A good book reading is a happiness. Meeting a good person is a happiness. Meeting elderly person who has a lot of experience is happiness. Learn simple happiness. If you learn happiness directly proportional to wealth, one day you lose wealth by some reason, then you will be unhappy. But respect knowledge, respect learning, respect good habits, and respect cleanliness. These things you should tell children, and you should behave that way. My grandparents lived a simple life. They never went out of Karnataka. He never got any award, but I absorbed the good qualities, helping everyone. My dadi on my father's side was uneducated, but she, her hobby was midwife. She was a midwife in a village, and she will go. All the children are well educated, everything. She said, no, that's my hobby. She used to go and deliver babies. And I have gone with her once, and I written there, may you be the mother of 100 children. So I asked my dadi, you have only 10 children. She had 10 children. Why everybody says, Aji, you have 100 children? She said, beta, how many children you deliver is not important. How many people you help is important. I have conducted 100 deliveries, so I am the mother of 100 children. What a great lesson. What a great lesson in a simple 2 lines. So I absorbed all these qualities of elders, selflessness, loving people, and helping people who are in difficulties. And my father was a doctor. I learned a lot from him. The God is not in the temple, in the mosque, or in the church, or in Gurudwara. God is always with the patient. Help people when they are sick. And that's the service of the God. So, parents here, you behave the way what your children want to become. Help others. Try to lead as simple as life possible. Whatever is your definition of simplicity. Because everybody's definition is different, So, simple as much as possible. And make your children to enjoy small things. If they don't enjoy small things, they'll be unhappy throughout their life. Take your, I want to, being a teacher I advise, being a mother I advise, being a grandmother I advise. So I advise a lot more than required. I want to tell you, all parents here, you don't take your children to Switzerland and all those things that you can do when they are 18. Take your children all over India first to teach them what our country is. Show them Karnataka, show them Udaipur, Jaipur, if they are from south. Show them Punjab, show them northeast, nobody has gone. Show our country first and tell them, beta, our country has so many states, but inside we are all one. And that is only by traveling you can show. I took my children everywhere and showed, beta, this is north, this is east, this is west, and this is how India has been defined between the Indus River and Brahmaputra, between Himalayas and the ocean. This is our land, and we belong to this land. Our culture is this. This is our place where we should be proud of. You should make your children proud of India. For that, you should take them to different places and show all we are connected to one. And I'm very happy about it. As a teacher, I used to take my students. When I was teaching in the university, still I will take my children, students everywhere and tell them, this is our country. Because there are many ways to teach. Not only academics, there are many ways to teach children. One at home, one in college, one by taking them to different places, and one making them aware of what our country is.
So I wanted to ask you, you said you were a national nanny, but you're also international nanny with your son-in-law, and you just talked about something that has been at the heart of a lot of people. What you said, people come here and listen to Shashi Tharoor and William Dalrymple, but the idea of British Raj, as you said that it was about colonialism, and at some point of time, do you think that your grandfather is a little happier that there is someone in 10 Downing Street who now actually knows the aspect of British Raj, and we've been waiting to get it into textbooks? Can you talk about that a little?
Like any other mother-in-law, I'm happy because I'm sure any mother-in-law will be happy and son-in-law is the PM. But not more than that, Not more than that. He is in his country serving the best for his country people. I am in my country serving the best of my children over here. So, more than that. That I don't interfere in their politics or their 10 Downing Street. I have not gone there. Australia has become PM. I have not even gone because my country is very, he is very busy and we are very busy. He is here. It's okay.
So, and this is the last question, and I know that there is going to be missing. You've got a whole room, and most of the people who've come in are mostly women, and you've talked about so many aspects. You've said be self-reliant. You've broken glass ceilings. You've become an author. In some ways, there is Infosys that took India's soft power of software power to the world. But you, as Sudha Murthy, post 52, have become an author that is as much as Mr. Murthy as Sudha Murthy. Do you think women can have it all? And how do we do that?
A factor of luck is also required.
Of course.
I think in my the goddess Saraswati was very kind to me, I can tell that. My writing is independent of Murthy. Okay, it's totally independent of Murthy. It is within me, and I write in nothing to do with Infosys. Infosys gave me a lot of help to do my philanthropy. Without Infosys, I would not have done philanthropy. Without Murthy's money, I would not have done philanthropy. So, okay. Thank you, Narayan Murthy. When I was married to him, he was unemployed. Okay? Yes. So, I made a good decision, I think. I'm a better decision maker. Okay? And
you also used to keep all the hisab. So he does, has he, about every time he went out, right? You used to share everything.
Yeah, we didn't have money, so I used to pay. But I want to tell you a very funny thing. I'm not good in economics, but I'm the best investor in the world. I gave 10,000 rupees and look at that today. So that I make a funnier part. No. They all worked hard, he and his colleagues, they worked hard and they made it. I take on a lighter side. It's not 10,000 rupees. Only 10,000, nothing can happen. He worked, they all worked hard. A factor of luck is there, I agree. But philanthropy was helped by Infosys Foundation and Narayan Murthy's earning. So I could do all that. Writing is entirely mine. And I got, my canvas became large because of foundation. I would meet politicians, film stars, prostitutes, poor people, poorest of the poor people, leprosy people, etc. So my canvas became large because of my work, so I could write more. Entirely they are different, but in a way they are connected. So it is possible to do, and to some extent I feel the magic of storytelling has put me into this position, I feel, than anything else, because if you know exactly what you have to tell, to whom you have to tell, within what time you have to tell, I think then you become a little bit popular, I think. And being a teacher, I know how to hold a class for 45 minutes.
And an audience of... And so
all
this is-
teachers over here, they agree how to hold a class with a fun, with education in 45 minutes.
So now I'm going to open it up for the audience. I know there are going to be lots of hands. There's somebody right there who's been with a camera. Can we go to her, please?
Hello, ma'am. Such a nice session. Thank you for that. I have one message to relay and one question.
Only one, better, because the crowd is...
All right, then I'll relay the message. So my grandmother was a great fan of your works, and she's no longer in the world. But she used to ask me, can you tell Mrs. Murthy to write more so that I can read more?
You buy more, I will write more.
I already did. She ran out of books to read. So just I'm relaying the message now. Thank you so much.
No, I write more unless I have ideas, I don't write. It is not that, I have to write every year, no. If my ideas are empty, then I can't write a single line. So how much masala I have, that much sambar only I make. Okay, I will. Thank you. Somebody in the back who should ask one question from the back. Just because they are away from us, it is not fair. One question from the back. Fast. Time is running out.
Question from the back. There's
Yeah.
a lady right at the back there in blue.
Blue and red.
Blue and red, right?
Yeah. And one from this side.
Okay. We'll
By the
be
time the time-
equitable.
Firstly, ma'am, thank you so much, and you are really my role model.
Tell me the question.
The question.
Ma'am, as an engineer, I am also an engineer, and I want to know how you become an Sudha Murthy, and I wanted to become like you.
Marrying Narayan Murthy, I became Sudha Murthy.
I think that option is very loud.
I believed in myself, I always said, when I was married to Murthy, I told him the first condition is, your spelling is wrong. I told him, M-U-R-T-H-Y is not correct. It is Murthy. That the first dialogue I had in the marriage was, your spelling is wrong. Then I told, my surname will be M-U-R-T-Y. Because just because you are T-H-Y, I should not become T-H-Y. It's wrong. Know that. Asserting myself, I run my marathon on my own legs, not on sitting on somebody's back. Okay? Whatever is my limitation, I always run my marathon with my own legs.
Just
Not,
wanted to know
and that's
one-
when I became Sudha Murthy.
Thank
Okay?
you, ma'am.
Thanks.
Ma'am, I
Okay,
just
one
bunk
more.
my classes just to see you.
Okay. One
Oh,
from
okay.
here.
Not...
One. With the
Gentleman,
scarf.
the lady,
No,
the young girl with the
one you
scarf.
have to give it to men, because men
Yes,
feel
yes.
I'm against
And
them.
then
No,
we'll
no,
be
no.
equitable. We'll give one to
One
a man.
They are in minority, let's give them one.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, beta.
After your session, I had lots of questions, but I think this is most important. You said that there's a disconnect with the freedom struggle. Have you ever thought of branching out your writings to connect to the younger audience, like us, like adolescents, not younger than us, older than us?
No,
Adolescents.
I have to think over it. If I get a correct idea, I will write. If I get that kind of ideas, because I don't plan, I think. When I think, my ideas will come, and then in case I get that, definitely. And I'm concerned about adolescence age. It is not easy nowadays. So I have to address that issue one or other day. So I may require one more year. My very good editor, Sohini from Mitra. Sohini Mitra, where are you? Sohini is here,
There.
Penguin. And the moment you tell that, she will catch hold of me. I said, the next book will be on adolescence, okay? Penguin is extremely kind to me, and they have published most of my books, almost all, except Gopi's. And because of a person like Sohini all the time telling me, ma'am, next year book should be ready, then only I'll be ready, okay? So I will try to do that. Thank you, beta. One to the man.
One to a man. There's a gentleman right there with a beard.
Yeah, hi ma'am. I was fortunate to work with you for 5 years, so thank you so much.
Oh, you're from our Chandigarh boy.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, how are you?
I
And I
traveled
didn't
all the
expect
way.
you here.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. You see me after the session.
Absolutely, ma'am. That would be a delight. My question is only this, ma'am, that in today's generation in India, we see a lot of dearth of the younger people moving towards social reform sector. What we need to do as a country to attract more younger audience towards social reform sector, ma'am?
No, this is not by attraction. It is more by awareness. Please sit down. It is more by awareness. By giving money, you can't be passionate. And to be passionate, you should be aware. To be aware, you should be sensitive. To be sensitive, you should read more.
Okay, there's a girl right there who's been asking the lady with the blue puffer jacket, yes, and this youngest person, I promise we'll get you to.
I just want to convey a message. I don't have any question.
Oh, okay.
I'm reading your book since class 9th, and I'm from a student of IIM Rohtak. And during my interview, I did said that I read your books and you are my favorite author. And
Tell me the question. Tell me the question.
It's just a gratitude message that thank you for writing.
Thank you.
Can we have the youngest member? Really, not really the youngest, but yes.
Yeah,
thank you.
pink one.
Thank you. So my question is basically when you write your books for children, how do you think of the story? What comes to your mind? How do you create those stories?
Yeah, I'm a creative writer, no? A creative writer, one who creates from idea to idea, a thought to idea, and then it comes. One is experience, and normally writers are very sensitive. They observe everything and they think, and then that is my way of looking at it. Everybody has a different way of writing. In my case, I observe, I think, then the ideas I will convert into a story. That's the way I do.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
One last one with this little girl right in front. She's very...
I'm fortunate to meet you today and
My God.
What's your question?
No
question.
You don't have a question.
Mummy
Okay.
told you to tell that.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so one last question. The lady right here in front, she's been raising her hand. I'm sorry. You have a question, right, and not a message.
I would like to ask that the myriad roles you play, being an academician, a teacher, and so many roles you play in your personal life as well, and receiving so many awards, a Padma Shri here and there. So how do you find the time to write in all of this?
I value time, beta. I respect time. Time is so important to me. I don't waste it. Normally, I calculate time. The funny side, I will tell you, I'm a teacher. So my students get married and it's the other end of the Bangalore. And you know how Bangalore traffic is. So their children, now my students used to get married. Now their children are getting married. They said, ma'am, you should come for the wedding. I said, it takes an hour and a half to go and an hour and a half to come. An hour and a half there for selfies nowadays. So it takes 4.5 hours. I can't afford. So I send Ashirwada from here. Okay. So I really don't attend many functions, weddings and all, rarely, very rarely. And I save time. And I manage. It's hard, but I manage. But I write early morning. I don't write later part of my day because I have to do work. So 4:35 I started writing up to 7. But not every day when I have to write that time. All of you, please remember, God is very kind to all of us. He has made somebody beautiful, someone not. Someone is rich, someone not. But He has given everybody only 24 hours. Okay, thank you.
Well, God is really kind. I got to meet you today, so yeah.
I'm very ordinary person, I will tell you. Circumstances have made me what I am today. Otherwise, I'm very ordinary person who loves a simple life, who loves to read and write, and enjoy meeting people, enjoy good food, and take it easy kind. Jane do yaar, that kind, okay? Fine. Thank you very much. You had a good time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mandira. Thank you,
thank you,
JLF.
ma'am.
Coming to JLF is always a great pleasure to me. It is a mecca of the authors. Coming here gives me enormous happiness. And seeing all of you, it is like a writing, is like a performing arts, When I see all children, I say, I must write for them. Thank you, the readers, once again. Dhanyawad. Jai Hind.
Thank you.
What an incredible start of the day. Can we have a huge round of applause for Sudha ma'am and Mandira ma'am? Thank you so much. As a token of our gratitude,